What's happening, everybody? It is Wednesday night time for another episode of Thrifty Business with J and A. I'm your one host, Vegas J.
And I'm Philly Nay. Hi, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? What's happening? All right, I'm going to leave it on you, so you can introduce our guest.
Okay, so our guest tonight is, her name is Michelle, but she actually goes by Missy. So, but she is actually local to my area. She lives in the Philly burbs. She has an interesting source to find her inventory, one that we haven't discussed yet. So we'll leave that as a surprise for when she comes on. She also owns a thrift and consignment shop, so she can give us some inside scoop on that. She'll show us some scores and duds. And the other amazing thing about her is she's a two-time 16-year breast cancer survivor. So she's a big inspiration as well.
Cool. All right, Missy, thank you for being with us tonight. And we're going to put you to sleep for about half an hour. So we'll see you about half hour.
Hey.
Hey, it worked. Yay. Things are working now. That's always a bonus.
That is a very big bonus.
All right, so let's get right to it, shall we?
We shall.
Time for Jay's Tiki Talk, and each week I drink from a different mug and talk about a different rum, and I try and pair something up. Now, Missy was like, our third or fourth guest from the Philadelphia area, so I couldn't figure out what to do, but that rainstorm, and the colors of the Philadelphia Flyers, the hockey team, is orange with a little black. So I found a mug, orange with a little black, and what's cool about this mug is it has removable parts, so you can actually pop out. Let me pop it out here. You can pop out the little thing in the middle, and you can switch it with the other mugs that you have that have little pop-outs. So it's on a big, heavy-duty magnet. So this is made by Monk Tiki, one of my favorite mug makers. Very collectible, and you can find their mugs in the thrift stores. And since they're all limited and numbered, they're all worth a bunch of money.
Awesome.
Some more than others, obviously, but if you see a Monk Tiki, M-U-N-K-T-I-K-I mug, get it. And tonight I just went for a very dry Pirate Blanco, just a white rum that I like, and just having a little Cuba Libre. So there we go.
And I have coffee in my eBay mug.
Where's the sippy cup?
Oh, I know. We're risking tonight. Being very risky.
All right there. Ballsy. All right, let's get right to it, shall we?
Mm-hmm. So,
gotta wait for the introduction.
I know.
Well, hey, jumping the gun there. Time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week. So,
okay,
right,
so I just went to the oncologist today, and I am supposed to have a December 1st surgery, but it looks like that might be getting delayed again because I'm having I'll let you guys know what happens in the future if there is anything to be concerned about, but I have to have some more tests and whatnot. So we'll see. But otherwise, I'm hanging in there, and I have a fact tonight, which is that I think I've talked about before that there's not just one type of breast cancer, and then there's many subtypes and many different markers, and it's so complex. So the type of breast cancer that I have is invasive ductal carcinoma, which is the type that 80% of all breast cancer, women that get breast cancer, it's a very common type get. So that's the type that I have. And then there's other types. There's invasive lobular carcinoma, which my aunt actually had, and inflammatory. And then there's Paget's disease. That's another type. And then within all those types, there's subtypes. Like my mom had ductal carcinoma, but it was in situ, which means that it was contained in the ducts. Mine had already escaped through and gone into the lymph nodes. So there's different, it's very complex. And so the point is there's not just one type. There's a lot of complexity to it. So, and that's it.
All righty. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Our scores of the week. Renee and I share the good things we sold this week. And you guys actually saw one of my scores sell when we had the timer up last week. So let's get right into that. All right. So there's that. I got to hop over here. Nope, that's not it. Over there.
All right. Okay.
All right, cool. So I picked up this little guy kind of as a goof. He was just this little short, like couple inch tall, Danish Viking little wooden guy, and I threw it up for $30 and it went to Japan. So that's what sold during the show. And I think I paid like $1.95 for it. So it was a really cheap thing.
That's so weird. I wouldn't have picked him up. What made you?
I think we were someplace and it was just a bunch of stuff, and it was a cheapie, if I recall, and we just threw it in, and I'm like, whatever. I thought he was cute. Wasn't even thinking of selling him, but of course he was laying around just being in the way. So I'm like, all right, time to sell him. And he sold for $30 to Japan.
That's pretty amazing. I would have never thought he would have been a $30 turnaround.
So the guy whose wife supposedly painted the big eye pictures. Hello, Nadine.
Yes. Those,
the artist
70s. Yeah, the 70s. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So they just made a movie about him. Well, this is another artist who kind of copied them a little bit. Name was Eden. These were just 4 little plastic frames that were at a thrift store in Cleveland. Actually, I paid $1 each, so $4, and they sold for $100.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, and those went to London. So
you're just all over the globe.
But wait, there's more. Not him. I'll come back to that. These were Levi's 501 jeans from the late 80s, early 90s, still with all their tags, all the tags. And I sold those for $80 plus shipping to Australia. So yes, I've been very worldwide. And then the last one, I sold for $25. It's a Rain Spooner long sleeve, which is very rare. And it was Cadillacs. And you would think, hey, Jay, wouldn't a long sleeve Rain Spooner with Cadillacs be worth more? Well, it was only an extra small. The person to wear this shirt is a rare person. And so when I asked for 50, but when I got an offer of 25, I imagine that there's not a lot of extra small men who want a long sleeve Hawaiian shirt with Cadillac. So I took it. I took the 25. And I paid like $2 or $3. So I was very, very happy.
It looks so short too.
Oh, I know. So that's why, sometimes you gotta, when you get that offer, you gotta take it, because the amount of customers that can wear this is very slim. No pun intended. All right, here you go.
Okay. So my scores are, let's see, you have my first one up?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So my first score there is I just sold this today. Actually, I just shipped it today. I sold 7 skeins of yarn, and I still have, I think, another 6 of these that I got in a big bag at Goodwill for $2.99. And this happens. Now look at your yarn. I've always said natural fibers sell much better. Now this was merino wool and cashmere, so that is a really high-end blend of yarn. So I sold 7 skeins, and I still have more for $44.99. So that was yeah. And let's see, my next score is, okay, this Bowden bag. Actually, when I was doing the haul, I sold this in the middle of our last thrift haul to one of our wonderful viewers. And she wrote me, she loves the bag. She was like, wow, it's even better than it was in the picture. She's going to use it for her thrifting because it's nice and big. So she's going to use it as her thrifting tote. And I actually bought this in Chicago when I was at Salvation Army in Chicago. So it went from Chicago.
That's where that came from?
Yeah, that was the bag that I bought in Chicago at the Salvation Army.
I totally spaced on that. Yeah.
Remember I said, oh, I found a Bowden bag, and I was all excited.
Now I remember. See, it's all.
That's the bag. So it sold for $39.99 plus shipping.
Cool.
And it went to one of our awesome viewers. So, and I always talk about St. John, not St. John's Bay. That's not to be confused.
That's poo-poo.
Yes, but actual St. John is a very high-end brand, and this was actually a Santana knit. That's their signature knit. It's a very, it's wool rayon. It's a very distinctive knit, and it's very soft. Now this top new a few years ago was $500. Now its resale value now would not be $500. I was very ambitious with the $149.99 with best offer. I knew I wasn't going to get that. I probably could have gotten around 80 for it, but this buyer offered 54. I countered with $79.99 and they countered with 69 and I accepted. So that's nice. And also here's more yarn. Also at Goodwill in a big bag. I have these 3 skeins. These are all alpaca yarn. And there was another one too that goes with this because the same buyer bought it. So there was a single blue one as well. And the same buyer bought all 4 skeins and for a total of $53. And so that's another tip. If you have yarn, I mean, lot it up, but a lot of times you'll get multiple purchases from the same buyer looking for a certain brand or a certain dye lot. So $53 of yarn to the same buyer for what I paid. That was part of a big bag too for like $3.99. So
sweet. Whoops. I jumped ahead, so let's get right to it then.
You did jump ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just jump ahead, like whatever. Hey, how are you? You've seen our scores for the week. Now it is time for our duds of the week. Let our mistakes not be yours. So here's my first dud. I had this forever. It was this old school vintage computers with a mouse. Just looking at the computer. So at the time when I bought it a couple years ago, I thought it was witty and fun. And I know, and everyone knows that like these whimsical type ties really aren't in the fashion anymore. So I was happy it sold for 10. But one that's still in my store that I'm shocked, even though maybe it's because it's so small, it's this pretty sweet Wrangler cowboy shirt with the pearl snaps and the double snaps on the pocket. And I think some hipster would love this shirt. And I got it on sale for $17.49. And it's been in my store for a year and a half, maybe a little longer. So
maybe because it's size small, but those pearl buttons are pretty sweet.
Plus those pockets are sweet.
Yeah, it must be the size.
So there you go. There's my 2 duds.
All right, and my duds. I didn't sell any duds, but these have been sitting in my store. I bought some, and I'm a mom of boys, so I don't know a lot of the girly toys. Actually, that's one thing that I don't know a lot about, except for the vintage ones that I had when I was a kid. But these Bratz dolls, which I think are hideous, but I found some on really deep discount, so I picked them up. And I can't move them. So apparently nobody wants them anymore. I don't know if they're just kind of going out, or I'm hoping they'll sell closer to the holidays. But I have like 4 of these. So, and the other thing is, I guess I think Betty Boop maybe has had her day, because I've had this in my store for a very long time, and so long that I got that 16-month notice on it. So I said, I either have to revise it, lower the price, or just clear it out. So there's another one.
Yeah, that 16-month notice is like the sad trombones. Wah, wah, wah.
Exactly. I was going through today and looking at some of them, and I'm like, I gotta. So I think what I'm going to do is put all of those into a clearance category and mark them down.
Cool. All right, now it's time for close encounters of the thrifty kind. All right, so I promised you a story a while back, and I teased it today about the police. And it's a long story, so I'm going to make it the short version. My wife and I were garage sailing in a community, so like every third house had a garage sale. And we turned from a road, and we turned right to go down another road, and we were looking for garage sales. And as I was turning right, there was a car coming from further up the road, just flying. And it got so close to me as we were driving that I couldn't see their hood anymore. I could barely see their windshield. That means they were so close to me. A quick step on the brakes, like I did, really had to make them slam on the brakes. And I heard from the back, "Hey, asshole." And so, of course, you know, I had to get out. I had to talk to the person who just called me an asshole. And it was 3 young guys, and they wanted to talk some smack. And the one tried to get out of this car, and I shut his door back. I'm like, why don't you guys just sit there and stop being jerks and stop driving like morons in a neighborhood full of kids, pets, and garage sailors. And the kid in the back seat kept just mouthing off to me, and he was maybe 80 pounds dripping wet. And I'm like, hey, Squirt, what are you going to do? And he pushed his way out from the back seat, came around, and actually physically pushed me, or tried to.
Oh, wow.
So I said, all right, boys, I'm going to call the cops now because you obviously need a lesson here because you ain't going to learn. And the pipsqueak kept, you can't touch me. I'm 17. You can't touch me, which I didn't. So we called the cops, and they showed up. And I kept saying to the kids, I'm like, you know, an apology, my bad, you would have went on your way. I sure hope you don't got nothing in the car you don't want the cops to find. No, man, we got nothing. And they're from Phoenix. The cops show up. Separate us from the kids, ask us what happened. Oh, and before the cops got there, the kids are like, you better tell the truth. I'm like, oh, we're going to tell the truth, but let me tell you who the cops are going to listen to anyway. The middle-aged couple who lives in the neighborhood or the 3 punk teenagers? Let me tell you, you're going to lose. And so the cop pulls aside and says, look, I know you did what you did. I'm a parent. I live in a neighborhood. I wouldn't put up with that in my neighborhood either. But in this day and age, you don't know who's packing a gun or what. So just next time, just call us. And I said, all right, officer. He goes, you can leave if you want to, you can stay. I'm like, I'll stay for a few minutes. As they went through the car, Nadine, guess how many guns they found?
What? Guns?
Yes, guns, plural.
Guns? They found guns in the car?
3 guns in the car. And the officer comes over to me and he goes, see what I tell you? So there's 3 guns in the car, and I hear them trying to explain it. Well, they're my parents' guns. They always leave them in the car.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So there was 3 cops by this point. And they're like, you know, you're free to go. So we left. We went back to garage sailing. And, you know, all they had to do was say, my bad.
That was a whole episode of Cops. And I can't believe that I didn't hear that story previously.
Yeah, I wanted you to hear it on the air. There's well more detail to it, but that's kind of the quickest version I can give.
That's crazy. And, I can't believe you didn't tell me this.
They were all getting patted down as we were leaving.
That is crazy. Wow.
So I bet I get you probably should have went first because I guess yours is gonna be probably a little less.
It's a little shorter.
A little less than 3 police.
Yeah, so mine has 2 pictures, which you're pulling up, and mine is a thrifty encounter. I haven't actually been to a thrift store this week. So
which pictures?
It would be the link to how the West was won and message picture. Right. So
what do you want to see first?
The link to the item, please.
Okay. All right, cool.
So I sold, this was actually a score. Thanks to Jay. I'm selling these music books, these song books, and I find them for like $1. And as you can see, I sold this one for $14.99 plus $3 shipping. And it was a 1960s book, and she had asked me a question about it, and the joke among cancer patients is we all say, well, must be cancer brain, like when you can't remember something. So it took me a little while to get back to her, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to answer your message, cancer brain. So she messages me back that and it was a really amazing message, that she also was a breast cancer survivor. Do you have that coming up, Jason?
Yes, I do. It's right there.
Okay. So she was also a breast cancer survivor, a 16-year survivor, just like our guest, Missy, which was amazing. So that was just, I mean, what are the odds that I'm talking to another breast cancer survivor? And she sent me this lovely message. And the very sad thing, but beautiful thing is that her husband of 28 years passed away on this past July 4th. And she purchased the songbook because it had their marriage song in it. So it was a very sentimental thing. And I was so happy that I could bring that memory back to her. So it was just a really nice, like, just from me saying, oh, I'm so sorry I missed your message, cancer brain. And I got that back. So you never know who you're selling to. So
yeah, it's true. Your encounter's kind of uplifting and sweet, and mine's kind of like dangerous.
Yeah, very different. And mine was a kind of a virtual one, because she would have been, I guess it would have been her thrifting encounter, because she would have been the one thrifting technically. Yep. But so
all right, now it's time for the thrifty tips of the week. All right, so my thrifty tip is It was 50% off sale day at Savers this past Friday. I had to run some errands in the evening with my wife and somehow convinced her to go to a Savers or close. So the sale had been going on from 9 a.m. and it is now about 7:30 because I wanted to see if there's still good stuff 10 and a half hours into half off day. Now, there was another half off day 5 days earlier. So now it's 2 half off days in this week. And I want to see. So there's going to be a haul this week of the stuff we found, and Stacy will be the guest. But I wanted to preview it a little bit just to show you guys there is good stuff to be found. So even if you can't get there till the end of the day, there is still good stuff to be found. So for a whopping $2, I got this Bitchin' Tupac t-shirt on his Machiavelli brand.
Wow.
That was $2, and it's kind of blingy, shiny. And and Stacy found these Bob's from Skechers. They're cool little shoes, and these are all sparkly, and they're brand new with the tags. And,
cool.
and they were still sitting there, and they were $5, and these sell for about $25, $30. So you can find stuff at the end of sale day. Don't give up.
Good tip. And my tip is, which I know I'm full of pictures tonight, Jay.
Yes, you are.
So on our last haul show, if you remember, I showed a menorah that I found, which I actually have right here. So it looks very different now. It's the Rosenthal Judaica collection, and it's actually signed by Sandra Kravitz, who is the artist, and it's called The Tree of Life. And this is about a $200 menorah, I found out. Now, it probably, I put it up for $99.99 or best offer, but I'll probably be getting about $50. Mine doesn't have the box, and I'm hoping that it sells for upwards of that. But my two photos, if you can see there, when I showed it on the haul, it was a very different color. It looked like it was dark gray. And I know Jason said, don't clean it, just leave it like it.
I did.
Yeah,
say
you
did.
It. Well, I thought, you know what? I'm going to see if this polishes up. So what I did was I started on just a small area to see how it would react to polishing, and it came out sparkling. So I did the whole thing, and it looks like a whole new thing. And when I photographed it, what I did, I did this outside, and I photographed it on a black background, so it really popped. Now, if I hadn't polished it, it would have been that dark gunky gray color, and it looks like a whole different item now. So my tip is, if you don't be afraid to try to polish up something. I know some people are under the belief just leave it, but it really might sell the item a lot better, because I think this looks a lot nicer than the gunky gray.
Yeah, good job. I'm glad you did not listen to me. Smart woman. Good job. All right, now it is time for, whoops, there we go. You have got to be shipping me, where Nay and I give you shipping tips, what to do, what not to do. And this segment is brought to you by Bubble Fast, a family-owned business providing quality shipping supplies to the online community since 1999. Bubble Fast, the internet's home for shipping supplies. If you need some good shipping supplies and you plug in J and Nay at checkout, you'll get 10% off your entire order. That is JAYANDNAY.
Yes.
All right, so now I'm going to say something that people who know me and know what I preach will be shocked to hear. Shocked.
Yeah.
Hold on to your seats.
I got a preview of this, and I
cannot stand when people ship things in food boxes. Like, this was your Lunchables box or your Hot Pockets box, and now it's your shipping container. However, there is one exception. If you're not a regular record seller and you need a quick box because you've sold one record, typically a pizza store will have a box the exact size of your record, a 12-inch record. So a clean, never used pizza box is a good alternative and a good fill-in. And what I would recommend is, if you go to the pizza store, order a pizza, and then while there, say nicely, hey, can I buy a box off you? And 9 times out of 10, they'll throw you an empty box. Now, I say that because people have done that with records. I got no problem with that. I got a big platter, like a serving dish in the mail from Canada. And he goes, please don't hate my box, but it was the only box that seemed to work. And it was a big piece, but it was the perfect size for the platter. So this is the rare time. And look, pizza boxes are thick. They're hardcore. So most are. So this is the rare time where I would say that a food box is okay. Unused. Let's make sure everyone understands the unused part.
You don't take your greasy pizza out and then put the... So would you message your buyer ahead of time and say, hey, heads up, I'm sending it, don't be offended like he did?
I might. And, if you're going to sell a lot of records, I would definitely order record mailers. But if you just happen to find one expensive record, you don't normally sell a record, that's a quick way to get a box that fits and works for you really quick. Because you normally don't pick up boxes that shape with that, and it's not real thick. So that's my tip. So, yeah, maybe a little heads up to your customer wouldn't be a bad thing. But that's the one time I'll accept it and allow it.
Oh, pretty cool tip and surprising. And my tip is to make sure at this time of the year that you are not only stocked with priority mail express boxes, because people will ask for overnight or express, as gifts. And so be stocked with your priority express supplies. Be ready at a drop. At a quick notice to be shipped priority express, and offer it as an option too, as a second option, so that people don't have to message you and say, hey, can you express this? It's a good option to also offer at this time of year. So
awesome.
And they also have the Tyveks too, which are great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have them sitting right here at my feet. They're there.
Awesome.
Priority Mail Express. There it is. All right, cool. All right, so that's that, and that. Now it's time for this. There we Time for the viewers' 2-minute topic of the week. And this week is, I just sold something cool. Yay. Funny, I sold a cowboy shirt, not the one I showed. The
different one. That's funny.
That is very funny. All right, thank you, Caroline Johnson, for sending in your question for this 2-minute topic of the week. Her question is, do you like to have goals for your business, or do you just keep working and see where it goes? So I like that. Get the timer up here. All right, kick on the share timer. There we go. Okay, you are on the screen and you're off.
I do have goals. I always have goals. Now, right now, I try to do my goals in smaller steps rather than big leaps, because it's easier that way, especially when you're dealing with a lot of other stuff in your life. So for example, I have last Saturday, my goal was to list 20 items, and I did it. So I don't necessarily, bite off more than I can chew. My other goal is to get 1,000 items up. I'm at 870, I think, right now, somewhere around there. But I want to get back to 1,000 items in my store. And then I also have monetary goals, but I do it in steps. I don't expect to overachieve and bite off more than I can chew and then disappoint myself. Right now, I'm just trying to steady list 5 items a day, 5 items a day, more if I can. That's my goal for every day. And I take it day by day, just like I take life. So there you go.
Good job. Good job. All right. Let me stop and reset. Can you mute there, please?
What's that?
Can you mute whatever that crazy cartoon in the background is? Thank you. All right. Okay, so I have a lot different day to day than most people do. I have an assistant that does some of my work, but I got all kinds of other projects going on, so I have to have goals for those. And what I need to do is I need to get a dry erase board. I have one. I just got to get it up because I need my list of what I have to do today. Because I get to the end of every day and the wife goes, did you talk to the gardener? Did you talk to John Lawson? Did you talk to Nadine about this? And I'm like, oh, crap. I forgot those things. And all those people are asleep by now. So I need to make my goals because that's my overall life. And my overall life is part of my business. As far as goals for listing and selling, yeah. I like to have at least 1,000 items up. I'm a little short right now. I'm at like 900, but we're working on it. So we're getting there. And I do have small goals for my assistant every day. I'm like, all right, we need to get 20 listings done today. I need you to get pictures of 50 items tomorrow. And that way it keeps her moving and motivated, keeps her driving her towards something instead of just saying, go do this. She's got to focus on the end line. Woo! And I don't know if you can hear, but man, it's getting crazy windy here in Vegas right now. It is just the wind is kicking our butt right now. There we go. All right, cool. And then the last topic, our rotating weekly topic. Oh, I got to stop screen sharing. There we go. Our rotating weekly topic of the week this week is... Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for your trendy bolos. All right, now let me get your trendy bolo up. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. It's up there. Okay, cool. All right, now you can start.
Okay, so mine is this winter, according to a lot of fashion sources, the asymmetrical hemlines and shoulders. So one-shouldered tops, diagonal cuts on your skirts, that kind of thing, are in fashion again. So if you see those types of tops, and they were also popular in the 80s, this is a comeback from the 80s, buy them because they are in style right now. So
cool. Kind of like my asymmetrical zipper on my sweatshirt there.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
All right, so my trendy bolo, it could not be more trendy than it is right now. It's crazy. So if you don't know what Snapchat is, this won't mean a whole hell of a lot to you, but Snapchat is an app, not unlike any other social media type app. You are kind of sharing your life, kind of like Instagram, Facebook, all squished together. But Snapchat has come out with what they call spectacles. They're glasses to wear, and it'll record your day in little snippets and then put it all together, and you can put it on your Snapchat. So what's happening is the Snapchat kiosk every couple days or so will show up in a different part of the country. It started in Venice Beach last week, then it was in Big Sur, and then yesterday it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And once it sells out of the kiosk, it's gone, and the glasses cost $129. And as you can see by the prices on eBay, you could sell your $129 purchase for upwards of $2,000. Now, I'm guessing at some point they'll be easy to buy, readily available for everybody everywhere. I think. I don't know, maybe not. But right now, there is nothing more trendy than these glasses. So there's going to be a new kiosk announced tomorrow. If you happen to live near it, do not hesitate. Do not pass go. Get down there. I think the rules are you can buy two, but you have to have two different credit cards, and that's your max. So you could either A, have a fun little toy to play on your Snapchat, or B, you could take a nice vacation off of one flip. So even if you don't get Snapchat, check it out. Snapchat. There we go. Go to spectacles.com/map. You'll see a countdown, and the countdown ends in 12 and a half hours. And at that point, they'll tell you where the next drop box are. So if you're living near it, whatever you're doing, calling sick to your day job, go get in line and see if you can get some. Trust me, you'll make some sweet, sweet money. So if it happens to be in Philly, Nay, you know what you're doing in the morning.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that is my trendy bolo. And if you don't get a Snapchat, don't worry. You don't have to get it to make that money. So keep that in mind. What you got to get is the spectacles. And once you got them, then you got money. All right? Keep that in mind.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Now it's time for our guest. It's time to get Missy. How do you say her last name? We should have asked her. Do you know? Tschudy? Was I close, Nay? You're on mute, Nadine.
I think we should ask her how to pronounce that.
All right.
Because I'm not going to try to butcher it.
Well, I already did. So let's see how I did.
I think you actually did. So.
All right. Hey, Missy.
Hi.
And what's your last name? How did I do?
You didn't do bad. It's Judy.
Okay.
The T and the S are silent.
I wasn't even close.
No, she's being nice.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, it is no Smith, that's for sure. Well, thank you for being our guest tonight. Thank you. And you were a quick turnaround guest. We just asked you 2 days ago. So thank you
I know,
very
yeah.
much. Oh, so real quick, though, those of you who are looking for our other guest this week, he was actually he had to leave for something way more important than J&A. We'll explain that when it's on. And then that fell through. So he's at home probably just watching us right now. So we'll explain all that in 2 weeks when he's on.
Yeah.
It's
we
a crazy
will have
story.
him on again.
Yeah. And what was going to happen to him still might. So I hope it does, because it'll be his whole story will be way better if this last thing happens to it. So,
yes.
This is not Andy Slammons, in case you were still thinking Andy was on tonight. Andy has a lot less hair than Missy does. All right. So, Nay, why don't you jump off our guest here?
Okay. So, Missy, can you tell us a little about yourself, a little bit about your background, how you got into thrifting, and just that sort of thing, and then we'll jump into your store ownership and your sourcing.
Okay. I started going to auctions back in 2009. I had a baby and I was trying to find something to do to make some extra money. So I started going to auctions and just started dabbling a little bit in eBay, going to some flea markets and selling stuff and things like that. And it just progressed from there.
Awesome. So,
and how long you been on eBay?
2009, I started doing a little bit. And I've done it a little bit here and there throughout the years. I started getting into it more this past summer because it was slow at the store. So I started watching all the YouTube videos and watching you guys and learning and getting into it more.
So you had your brick and mortar store first, correct?
Yes, I opened that in 2011. It's been 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Okay. So can you tell us about your store?
Yeah, it's a consignment and thrift store. We sell a variety. We have clothes, furniture, jewelry, purses, collectibles, you name it, we have it. The majority of my items are consigned. And then I do get some of the stuff myself to sell in the store. But we've been going strong for 5 years, so it's been good.
5 years. So are you a standalone? Are you in a strip mall, or where are you located?
I am in a strip mall. Yep. Right across from a grocery store. The same strip mall as a liquor store, behind a restaurant.
Oh, bonus.
Yeah,
right.
I'm right there in a good area, so that helps.
I worked for a chain of 12 CD stores across Detroit, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh, and what my role was, it took me to all of them, and I knew all the plazas. I'm like, all right, I get to go to this Pittsburgh one that's got this great restaurant for lunch, and later on there's this cool bar down the street. And then the other ones, you're like, oh, this is in a terrible plaza with like a carpet place. That doesn't be no good.
Yeah. So can you tell us some inside scoop on perspective of a thrift store owner? Can you give us that perspective?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I'm sure.
I probably have about 1,000 consigners. A lot are more active than others.
Wow.
I do enjoy it. It's I paint furniture too. Turn the store. I love it when people come in that want to buy this. I've heard people say that and they're looking. I like my store, so I have to keep my merchandise going. So I have to price it right. And I like when people want to come in and buy a lot like that. I wish I had it more often. But I've got my regular clientele. I've got great customers. I've made good friends. My family and friends help me a lot, work with me. So it's been a good experience in that way. But it's a hustle. It is a hustle.
Oh yeah. My mommy wants to know how large your store is.
I think it's about 1,400 square feet.
Okay.
And I jam stuff in there. We try.
Hey, you got any cool Tiki mugs in there?
I do not right now. I have not. I think about it too because of watching you guys, but I don't have any right now.
So how do you determine what you're going to put in your actual physical store and what you're going to put on eBay? Do you have things simultaneously listed that are in your store, or?
Usually, no, I will take them like, I can pay for things such as Legos. Sometimes the designer Coach bags or Dooney and Bourke or Michael Kors bags. Like I took a little girl's pair of Ugg boots and put them online. I usually bring it home and I'll put them online, and then I'll leave them on for a while. And if they don't sell, I'll take it back to the store. But I feel like I'm trying to get the consignor more, the most money that I can. So it's the kind of things that you sell on eBay, that people talk about a lot that make good money that I'll try to do. But there's a lot that really could go on eBay and I could get more money to do because there's just not enough hours.
My mom should be doing this interview. She has tons of questions for you. She said, nice size on your store. She said, how'd you get so many consigners?
You wouldn't believe it. Go ahead and open a consignment store and people just come in. Do you take this? Do you take this? Can you come to I was just at somebody's storage room yesterday. I went and met somebody at their work today. Like I will, especially if they're elderly, I'll try to get them. People just drop in and start asking. So I haven't even done an actual count, but I know I have binders full of names, so they find awesome. You.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. You just, you throw your tent pole down and you throw your sign up and here they come.
Can you talk about your sourcing a little bit? Because you have a unique source for your inventory, and it's a pretty consistent and reliable source, it sounds like. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Uh-oh. Do you hear her, Nay?
No.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about where I source. Is that
what... Yeah.
Okay. I met somebody, or you meet a lot of people in this business at auctions. I have a lot of auctions in my area, so I would go to them. And you meet a lot of great people. Somebody who actually has a business doing foreclosures on houses. They work for the bank and do that type of thing. So when they do the foreclosures, they have to keep stuff in storage for a certain amount of time. And these people have a chance to come get their stuff, and they work with them and everything. But if they don't, that stuff is going. So that's where I come in, and I get to search through these storage units. I usually go on a Saturday and fill up my van, and I find a lot of stuff to sell. some great collectibles, and the majority of the time I can fill up my van and find some really great stuff.
Is it more often than not, or is it more often than not, nah, I'm going to pass, this is junk?
It's when you start going through it, it's like you'll find like 5 or 6 great boxes of things, and then all of a sudden you'll find stuff that's thing. And then you'll move over to the next storage unit and you'll find good stuff again. So it's back and forth, but it's worth it. It's a hard work, but it's a lot of fun. I found World War II helmets, brand new Lego sets, Louis Vuitton, and things like that, And I find little stuff that I can take to my store, and the not so big money makers, but some decent clothes. It's a big variety.
So do you donate the duds in your lots, or
yeah, if I do, after in my store I do as well. So if things have sat for 60, 90, if it's not something real expensive that a consignor might want back, or that I think I can sell elsewhere, I will donate. I donate to a lot of the thrift stores or charity shops around.
What how many
keep it moving?
So you mean you're a woman who wears many coats. So you're out there, you're grabbing the stuff, you got the store, you're selling on eBay. I don't have enough hours in the day. How do you have enough hours in the day?
I don't. I feel like I'm in a million different directions, and I need to I probably need to refocus, because I have a garage is full of furniture to paint. I love doing everything I do. But thank God for a great friend and my sister and people who help me run my stores, and my nephews who help me carry furniture, So I need to refocus, though, I think, because it is a lot. And I feel like I'm getting nowhere fast because it's too much. I like it. I like to be busy. So
how'd you get in touch with the Foreclosure People? And if you said it, I missed it. I was sorry. I was doing some show stuff. Did you say that? How you got in touch with them, or how they found you?
A friend of mine Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
You
there.
not hear me, Missy?
Okay, I hear you. I wasn't sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, a friend of mine that I met at an auction that I've been buying furniture from, or would work with him getting stuff for my store, kind of stopped doing it a little bit and introduced me to the person who did this. Mouth.
Word of mouth is always the best, you know. And you know, I have a new client where I'm buying from to sell because she has a storage unit in where I have a storage unit, and she was talking to the lady who runs it, who loves and adores me, and it's like, I gotta get rid of some of my stuff, and she's like, well, here's Jason's card, give him a call, he might buy some stuff off you. And some of her stuff wasn't worth it, some was, some will be, and she's got some cool stuff that, you know, I've now got the relationship with her, and I'm hoping to buy more from her, and this way I'm helping her clean out and putting cash in her pocket, and I'm making some money too. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You never know when those just word of mouth are going to work out for you in the long run.
Yep, it does work.
Yeah, that's very cool. So Jason, do you have any other questions?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was asking you because I don't have a question at the moment. I'm trying to think of something else.
I thought you were.
No. I'm sorry.
See, I was trying to be like, I'll shut up because I usually talk the most.
No, I was trying to turn it over to you right now because I just missed a little bit. My dogs, I apologize. My dogs were a little loud.
No, you're here for another reason, though. So if you mind talking about that a little bit? Because you and they have something.
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to bring that up too. So I didn't, yeah.
I started watching like the J&A show and Margaret Collier, the Texas Onion, and all these people to learn stuff. And when I started watching J&A and I realized that you had breast cancer, I felt the urge to reach out to you because I know how it feels. I've been there. I've done chemo. I've been bald. I've gone to surgeries and been sick and all that. So I reach out to you because I wanted to show that, I've been here for 16 years. It was tough. I had it twice, but life goes on and you can still do things in people's way if I can. So I think sometimes people think I'm crazy because I'll be like, sorry, but I just have to tell you that you'll be okay, type thing. So
yeah, your message came as a very big inspiration, and it was one that really stood out to me. And then when you were talking about your sourcing and everything, I was like, we have to have her on the show. So I knew you'd be a great guest. But as far as inspiration, that's amazing. 16 years, 2-time survivor. That's a real. So
my sister's 21 years, so there's a little further for you. So.
That's amazing. So that does give me hope. So
yeah, and anybody that gives my buddy hope, I'm very appreciative of. So thank you for reaching out to her. In the first place, that's very nice.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad you didn't think I was crazy.
No, not at all. I thought it was a beautiful message. I just have, for anyone that has reached out to me, by the way, and I haven't responded yet, it's not because I didn't read your message, I didn't get your message, just that I have so many messages to get to that I will get to you. And Missy was one of them that I got, she had sent it a while back and I read it and I just didn't get to respond, but it really touched me. So,
well, I'm going to have to come pick you up and take you to my sourcing place one day.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. We're local. You're local, so I have to get up to your store and check it out. And I can I'll post some pictures and whatnot when I get up there. So that would be fun. Yeah. So we have some questions in the chat for you.
Okay.
Nanette asks, how do you decide what on prices in your shop?
My thing is it's priced to sell. If
Okay.
it's,
there you go.
That's good. Yeah.
My clothing, like I go to a lot of consignment stores and I've been in Philly in the Fox chain. Like their shirts are $15. I can't get shirt my area. I mean, I can get $8 or $9 for a Chico's or something, but my, Aeropostale and the other brands are $3 and $4 and $5 and reasonable to price it to move because of my size is the main reason. But my consigners know that coming in. And if it's like I said, if it's something designer that I can get more for, I will try to get the most that I can. But
do you turn a lot of consigners away?
I don't usually turn the consigners away. I will let them bring stuff in and then I will go through it and tell them what I can take and what I can't, just based on the years of selling.
Yeah. So that's good that because I know I'm sure some people think that their stuff is going to sell for for more than it actually will, and it's probably
you guys probably know that, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure you have to be a little delicate sometimes when telling
It was
them.
hard at first, to be honest, like to tell somebody, no, I can't take that. I'd be like, okay, I'll try. Now I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pass, and I don't feel as bad because I know how much work it puts me in, brings me,
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's just as much work to research and list something or price something, to sell, as that's going to do great as it is that's something that's going to not do so great. So
yeah.
So what else do we have? Oh, what do you look for at auctions? Someone asked.
Oh my gosh, what do I look for? A lot of times I'm going for furniture because you can get it really cheap to paint it and bring new life to it. I found that Halloween's such a good holiday to sell at. So I look for that. I was looking for the holiday things before Halloween. And primitives are stuff I get at auction. I look for primitive type stuff because people love it if it's beat up. The more it's beat up, the more they like it,
Like that full kind of country look. Is that what you're?
Yeah, the country primitive.
Like shabby. I know this is actually a copyrighted term, so you can't use this in your keywords. But that shabby chic kind of look. Is that what you're?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's people that like the opposite, but I have a lot of that around here. So that's the kind of stuff I'll go for, the farmhouse type thing.
Yes, in your area, I would think that you would.
I've got like probably 10 auctions within a 45-minute radius, so I'm really lucky that way,
Now the chat is just alive with questions tonight.
I know. So you want to?
Yeah. So the next one from Peace 3601 is, what don't you take? Are there certain things that the second you see them, you're like,
Yeah, clear glass. I hate it.
Okay.
It's a hard sell. It just sits there and it takes up space and then it breaks and I have to get rid of it. So that's one thing I will right away say, I don't really want it. I'm trying so hard not to get any clear glass in. That's my main thing I can think of.
Okay.
And then also from Peace, is Q4 your busiest time of the year in the store? Or is your store just kind of, because it's a resale shop, is it just kind of even throughout the year?
No, October to December. The fourth quarter is. October's probably been my busiest month, through the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So it is Q4.
So I have a question from a thrift store owner's perspective. What kind of thrifty encounters do you get there? Have you had some? Yeah. What are some of you? I'm sure you've had some crazy ones there. So.
Oh, I can't even think. I can tell you stories. A lady that came in looking for a box so she could put her husband's ashes in it and put her next to her mother that he hated. And just all kinds of crazy stuff. It's like
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She's so funny. They come in with these stories and they're true and you just laugh and and you cry with them and you just get to meet. It's amazing the people you meet, and it's. Do
you have a lot of regulars? Do you have some regulars that just, I'm sure with your consigners you do, but what about your customers as well? Do you have a lot of customers that are sellers too, that are flipping your stuff?
Oh yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, I do have some. Yeah. But actually from me, she buys some stuff from me sometimes and I'll go to her store and get stuff. And a lot of consigners will actually spend their money that they made as they're leaving. And I've got a lot of regular customers. We know them by name and they come in, the kids come in looking for the one girl my friend that works with me because they love her to death, So yeah, a lot of regulars. Yep.
Now I'm going to answer this question before you answer it based on what I think you're going to say. Stacy wants to know, what's your feeling when other eBay resellers come in? And since you said price to move, I'm sure you're like, here, take it all.
Yeah, you got it. I said like when people come into source, I'm like, I kind of get excited when they get their phone. I'm like, oh, I hope they buy 10 CDs because I think, oh, I wish you guys were at my place looking for CDs and DVDs because I've got them. I have a little section of them and.
That's awesome.
Right, well, hey, next time I'm in Philly.
We're gonna have to,
and I got a couple days. We're gonna come out and see your store for sure.
We'll have to make a road trip, Jay. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll ship all the CDs home for you. So.
All right, cool. Well, hey, let's. I love your scores, so let's get to your scores and duds because you got some cool stuff here.
Okay.
And stuff that I would probably notice, but I never see. So let me get your scores
Yeah.
up here, and let's talk about them. So your first one, oops. Gotta turn that on. Okay, hello.
Let's answer a quick question while Jay's
Go
doing
ahead.
that. How often do you run sales? Piece 3601 wants to know.
I run sales every week. I have a weekly sale. This week I have 20% off purse, 20% off handbags and pictures because I have a lot of both. I have 50% off kitchenware because I want to clear it out. And I have something else on sale and I can't remember what it is. But every week I do a week full of stuff, depending on.
That's great. And in your eBay store as well, do you run sales?
I have done a few. I'm still learning everything kind of because I only did it sporadically and did a lot of auctions. I never did. I'm learning that to buy it now and let your stuff sit longer and things. So I did a few and I did okay. But
okay.
All right, well, let's look at your eBay store. This is a cool little witch cat thingy that I don't know if I would have noticed and realized it was $100 item.
I know, right? I can't. Is it up? I can't see. Is it?
Yeah. It's the Jim Shore Halloween witch with the black cat.
Yeah. I actually, one of my consigners asked me if I would go to a lady's house and get her Halloween stuff because she didn't want to decorate anymore. She was done with it, and I must have gotten like 20 containers, and there was like 7 Jim Shores maybe, and I sold this one. I think I had it up for 130 possibly, and I think I took a best offer of right around 100.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of money on the other stuff at the store, so that was fun.
I wouldn't have recognized that as anything either. So that's a.
I mean, I might have grabbed it, but I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, $100." I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been like, it's just a kitschy Halloween decoration.
The Jim Shore Halloween. Yeah, the Jim Shore Halloween I found goes well. The majority of it did.
And then you sold this Toy Story logo set. Lego set.
Lego.
Yeah.
Lego set.
Yeah, that I found in one of the storage bins when I was climbing through one day, and I sold that for right around 100, I think.
132.
They were okay. I took a best offer, I think, but they're trending for like $160. But my box had a big crease in it, and I know a lot of people liked them new or whatever, but I took it all out to make sure the packages were sealed and stuff.
Yep.
So that was from a storage unit, and that was a lot of fun because I didn't expect that because I didn't think it was new when I took it.
And good job of showing the new seal in the packaging too. That you're right. Some people want the crisp, clean box, and somebody just wants to build it. So they were happy to give you $132.
Yeah, those Legos can go for. I know from having boys that love Legos. So those sets that they're asking for Christmas right now. They're starting to make their list. One of the sets was like $300. I'm like,
I know, it's crazy.
That's not happening. But it's crazy, yeah.
Boy, when I saw this Trapper Keeper come up, I'm like, man, it took me right back to high school. Holy cow, this is awesome.
Those are awesome. I know. I wish I still had all of mine.
I know. I used to have a blue one. I think I'm Jason's age. I'm 46, so I had them in the 80s, I think. And I probably would have overlooked this, but somebody here on YouTube showed their Trapper Keeper or talked about it. And when I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, I found one like right after I watched it. So I only got like $20 for it, but that was great it wasn't like the hot ones, but
it's so
it was in really good shape. Yeah, it was neat.
That's awesome. Yeah, some of the designs back in the day were so cool. I wish I could. And that's always on my Bolo list. I always look for Trapper Keepers.
Yeah, I look for them now too when I'm at thrift stores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I always in the office section look for.
Yep.
And you got some silverware here. So do you
silverware?
Yeah, I sold a couple sets. I think I had this one for 75 and I may have taken it off for around 50. About it from watching watching you guys. And I found this in a storage room with other sets of silverware. I sold another set since then, and I have a lot sitting here to do. But anything that's older and doesn't say made in China on it, if you have sets, people are looking to replace it. So I did okay with that, and I have a couple more to do. So
Yeah,
Ooh, is that
that was fun
thought-
because I didn't expect that either.
Do you
Is
do
that-
you polish your silverware, or do you just?
I didn't.
Okay, no, that's
I have
fine.
some-
That's perfectly. You know, there's I think there's two camps, and yeah.
Yeah, I have some older stuff now that probably I did buy some polish, so I might try to do it. I think the ones I have listed, I didn't because of the way they were.
Okay.
Is that an absinthe spoon in the
A what? I'm sorry.
an absinthe spoon?
Absinthe
I don't-
spoon.
I
Didn't
stumped
know there was-
I stumped both of you, huh?
Oh, I know what
Yeah,
absinthe is because
Yes, you properly drink
because of
absinthe.
my.
You need a spoon with holes in it. You set a sugar
Okay.
cube on it. You have little drips of water drip down. It then dissolves the sugar very slowly into the glass of absinthe below it, and that's the proper way. So I saw that spoon with
Oh.
holes. It's not the proper spoon, but I'm like, ooh, an absinthe spoon. But then you
That's
both
what-
went, what? So all
Yeah, I know what absinthe is, but I didn't know it from
right, we'll have to drink some properly.
my
sometime.
art nerd Van Gogh knowledge. Yes, he was a big absinthe
There you go.
drinker.
All right, so like everyone, Missy's got a couple duds too, because if you don't have duds, then you're not stretching enough. So let's talk about your needlepoint dud, because I mean this is a nice little needlepoint.
Yes. What happened with that is I think I paid $2 for it at a thrift store because I thought it was cool. And I listed it. And the first thing I did is I didn't uncheck the new box because it was used. And I did state that it had staples around the edges and stuff. But she was expecting a new one. And the lady also said that it wasn't quite finished. So I immediately reimbursed her for everything. It was a lesson learned for me because I got a watch to uncheck that box. And I could have missed it, the needlepoint not being finished. I thought it was, but I could have missed it. And I'll be more careful next time. But I made sure I apologized profusely and took care of it right away.
And that's the important thing, to take care of your customer. And it's also some of our duds are learning experiences, and they're good learning experiences. So
Yeah.
And then Tom Ford box.
Yeah, I heard people buy empty boxes and sell them, so I've come across a few, and I put this one up. I ended up taking a best offer. I think I had free shipping on it, and it went to California, and I might have made $1 if I'm lucky. From now on, is if I get any empty boxes, I won't be looking for them. I'll probably lot them together, lesson
Yeah,
learned.
and that depends. But see, I've sold some empty boxes for a lot more than this. And every time I'm cleaning out my house and I got an empty box from some brand name, something or other, I always run through eBay to see if those are the hot thing at the moment. And, Tom Ford's a great brand, but obviously a Tom Ford eyeglass box just isn't the hot commodity, but you never know. So I would definitely
Right.
check other boxes if you happen to run across them.
Right. I will keep doing that. And I'm sure I have other duds. They're probably still sitting in my store or on my shelves.
we all have duds. Yes.
All right. Oh, that was it. Yeah. That was all your scores and duds. And we're over the hour.
Yeah.
So cool. But Nadine wants to talk about one more thing. So hold on a moment. Let me get that up. I almost forgot it. I don't want to let you forget it. So there you go.
Okay, so on November 28th, that's the Monday after Thanksgiving, if you are in the Philly burbs, New Jersey, New York City area, Philadelphia, Delaware, anywhere where, it'll be worth your trip, I promise you. Please attend my class. It is I'm going to be doing a thrifting class in the Philly burbs. I will give the exact location to anyone that signs up, but I will be teaching all about not manly items, but girly stuff. So all of the clothing. I'll go deep. I'll dig deep in the clothing section, and I will tell you all about the bolos there, the brands, what to look for in fabrics, linens. We'll hit that section. We'll do women's shoes thoroughly. We will do housewares, all of yarn, and I know a lot about yarn, sewing kits. We might hit a little bit on books. We will not be doing CDs, men's clothes, electronics, all of that stuff I will not be doing. It will be more about learning to thrift, you know, all of the girly stuff. And if you're not a girly girl, or if you're a manly man, this is perfect for you, because I want you to step outside of your comfort zone and learn this stuff. So I will be teaching it, and it'll be a fun day. It'll be 3 hours. The class will be 3 hours, and then we will be doing a lunch after, so we can all chat further. And you will find some great scores. I promise you that it's $100 to sign up, but I promise you that you will be getting way more than that in knowledge and in the inventory that you bring home to list. So.
Yep, I like when I teach classes with Nay, because it's great to tag team, because she's getting ready and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But I see her tear through the girly sections, and I know some of them. I could do good on bras and pajamas and robes, and a little bit in the dresses, and definitely purses. But then I falter when it comes to like shoes and linens and yarn for sure. She had me buy all this yarn last summer. I'm still afraid to go list it.
I know. I'm like,
I need to sit down
look
with
at
her
my yarn sales. You have
and
to
just tell me what I'm doing, because I bought it, but I'm like, I'll get to it later. It's yarn. I don't know anything about yarn, but I know I was
I've
supposed
sold
to buy it.
hundreds of dollars in yarn this week.
I know. Alone. I see your sales. I'm like, shit, I got a couple $100 sitting in my garage. I better get to it.
Mm-hmm. So.
All right, very much. Thank you very much for being on.
And the sign up. By the way, the sign up information for that is in the thrifting board, and also on our Thrifty Business fan page. You can find a link to sign up for the class.
Or you can just message Nay directly on Facebook,
mm-hmm.
and she will get you
all
that's fine squared too. Away. So, Missy, as I was saying, thank you for being on. Thank you for hopping in here and helping out. And I love your story. So it's so great to see someone who really has cornered every aspect of the whole thrift game. You do it all. So it was so awesome. And again, I thank you for reaching out to my friend. Some of you didn't know, and you reached out, and that you have a special place in my heart for always for that. So thank you very much. And we are coming to shop at your store. I can't wait to check it out when I get.
Yeah, this will be great, because Jay will be back in Philly, and we will be thrifting, and we'll come up there. We'll take a day trip and come up there and visit you.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys. So it was fun.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. So do you want to talk about, we will be doing our next show on Tuesday night, correct? Because next week is Thanksgiving.
Yep, Thanksgiving. And hey, what is the number one night to go out of the entire year? It's not New Year's Eve. It's not Halloween. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, because everyone comes home, gets together with their old buddies, goes out. So, and people are getting ready or traveling. So we decided Tuesday night. Shannon Posh is our guest next week. She's in our group. You'll see her around quite a bit. She does a whole blog. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. She does a whole blog of cool vintage stuff. And so we're going to talk to her about vintage things. We're going to talk to her about blogging, because like I always tell everyone, everyone's got a story to tell. Figure out a way to get it out there. Nay and I tell ours every week right here with you guys. And so blog's one way to do it, podcast. So we're going to talk about all that. And she'll
talk about Etsy too. She's an Etsy seller.
Selling on Etsy. So that's next Tuesday. But before next Tuesday, I don't know the exact time or date yet, but in the next day or two, we'll have a haul, and we'll show you all the stuff that Stacy and I got from Savers at the end of sale day. And then Mom and I will be back probably on Sunday. We haven't picked the time yet either. Crap. Hey, Mom, if you're listening, what was our topic this week? Because I remember we brought it up. We're like, oh, that'd be a good topic. But right this moment, I have no clue what it is.
Uh-oh.
I would love to promo our show, but I don't know what my topic is.
Oh, no.
Crap.
Yeah, I don't think your mom.
My mom go to bed. Mommy.
I don't know.
Mommy, come back, Mommy. Help me, Mommy.
Here.
All right. So just keep your eyes peeled in our groups, and you will see the links for the show. Or hey, I got an idea. Go right down here and subscribe. It'll let you know when we're doing new shows. And please go over here and click the like button down here. Hit that like button. So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We had a great live audience. Thank you, Missy, for being the guest, and thank you, Nadine, for being my co-host. And what? Oh, what?
Well, you
go ahead.
didn't talk. Are you also didn't talk about your webinar? Did you want to shout that out too?
Nope.
Okay.
But thanks for checking. But nope, we're all good. All right. And Mom and I don't have a topic. That's why we didn't discuss one. So we'll figure out something fun and show you Mom's scores and hauls and the whole thing. So stay tuned on my channel. More fun and more learning to
Okay.
come.
We're good. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon. All right.
Thanks.
Ciao.